WSFA 12 Sports, SEC Media Days coverage. WSFA 12 Sports, SEC Media Days coverage.
Hey everyone, welcome to Dallas, Texas.
That's right.
We just got here today. It was a bit of a hectic day.
Hey, we got here.
But we got here. We are here for SEC Media Days, and we're coming to you live on Facebook and .com right now. A little bit more chill than a sportscast that we do in the news. We kind of just want to talk to you about the day and this week coming up with things that we're looking forward to and things like that here at Media Days. And obviously, the biggest topic right now is that the SEC has two brand new teams.
Right, and two premier programs in college athletics as well. It's not like they just picked random teams. I mean, this was calculated by Greg Sankey. And two teams that are really going to add in Texas and Oklahoma. Obviously, they play a storied game right here in Dallas every year. I think that's a big reason why they picked Dallas as the spot for Media Days. And two teams that I think are going to compete early on in the SEC.
Yeah, and Davis has obviously worked in Texas before, and he was telling me, and I was like, how close is Austin and how close is Oklahoma to this spot here in Dallas? And he was like, it's really right in between.
Yeah, pretty much 3.5 hours both ways, either up to Norman or down to Austin.
We were traveling into Houston to the hotel just before our 6 o'clock sportscast, and Davis knew everything about this Texas area. It was pretty cool. So he'll bring all that knowledge to you, obviously, throughout the week and whatnot. But we're going to hear from, obviously, all 16 teams this week. And today we heard from Ole Miss. We heard from LSU. Vanderbilt
and
South Carolina. So we're going to bring you all of that content tonight. But I think, sorry, I'm getting some feedback in my ear here, so I'm just going to take this off. But I think what kind of excited me, I don't know if you heard us talking about it in our 6 o'clock sportscast, is that we saw Nick Saban earlier today. He was one of the media members, and he told a story about how he came down here without a credential, and he could not get into media days without his credential, so they sent him back up.
Doesn't matter. You win 7 championships, guess what? Need that credential.
It doesn't matter, which is crazy. We actually had trouble getting in here as well without a credential. We missed the mark there because we got in so late.
I don't know if he's the only one, because I actually kind of have a little bit of a story. Last year at the Big 12 championship, Mike Gundy, kind of the same thing happened to him. It's always funny to see head coaches that get asked for credentials, but that did happen to Mike Gundy, and he said, ma'am, I'm the head coach. But So, you know, it just goes to show you that it's a different side for Nick Saban this year for sure.
And he kind of blended in with us as we were here, and he was in the back of our shot during our 6 o'clock sportscast. He actually walked right there.
2 minutes before we went on?
Yeah, I almost asked him for an interview. It was so cool. Anyway, we want to go back to Greg Sankey. was speaking today, the commissioner of the SEC, obviously he added Texas and Oklahoma, and a lot of the quotes that we were reading from today was questions about expansion, and if the SEC was going to expand another 2 teams or something like that. And what did he really to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, now that we've gone from Power 5 to Power 4, I don't know that the buck stops there. I think we might be moving towards super conferences at some point. I think we might see 20 teams in a conference within the next 5 to 10 years, but it sounded like Sankey was pumping the brakes on that for now, at least. He kind of brushed off stuff and he said, I'm not really a salesman, like I'm here for the SEC.
Doesn't recruit.
Doesn't recruit. And not that he needs to. I mean, the SEC is the premier conference in college football and most college athletics in general.
Yeah. Earlier championships, everything like that, and it was cool. We're going to have the Olympics coming up here on WSFA 12 News, and 270 Olympians have ties to the SEC. 85 of those Olympians will represent the SEC for Team USA, which is pretty cool to see. Going back to the super conferences thing, which is always so intriguing to talk about, if you could pick 3 conferences to maybe just stay and be those super conferences, which ones would you pick?
Would be SEC and Big Ten for sure.
For sure.
And then I think you're deciding between ACC and Big 12.
Yeah.
The Big 12, I feel like, has been pretty innovative in the last couple of years, because it sounds like, especially they just added 4 more teams. They're up to 18 teams now in that conference. So I think I would probably lean Big 12 at this point.
Yeah.
Just seems like the ACC is on a weird bit of a decline.
I agree with
especially if Florida State and Clemson are the ones that leave, then that conference really deteriorates.
Yeah, and that is a hot topic right now. I was just going to bring that up about Florida State and Clemson potentially maybe leaving the ACC. It could happen one day. I mean, we didn't think that Texas and Oklahoma would join one day, but here we are. But I agree with you in the Big 12. I think they're becoming stronger and better. And obviously the Big 10 now, too, which added more teams.
I mean, I remember 12 years ago when people couldn't believe that Missouri and Texas A&M were joining the SEC. So, and now it just feels like they're a part of it. So I think Texas and Oklahoma, especially with their pedigree, will fit in quite well to this conference.
But they have to compete against the SEC, right? I'm not really big on the super conferences. I'm not going to make this whole thing about that, but I wanted to ask you that and just get your opinion on it.
Of course, the playoff is looking like it's going to expand as well. So, that's probably where it comes into play a little bit as well.
Yeah. So just coming up this week, briefly, we want to talk to you about, what we're going to be covering. Obviously, Alabama and Auburn are later towards the week. So tomorrow we're still going to have schools that are not in our area but are maybe of interest to you. A couple of Fever players that we're going to have to ask about throughout the week here. And then Alabama will speak on Wednesday. Auburn will speak on Thursday. So we will make sure to bring you that coverage. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it's great. I love my time here in Texas. It's a cool place to be. It's actually not cool. It's very hot outside, but it's a cool place to be. As far as the event goes, and it feels great to be back. Especially, to hear from these new teams how they're going to acclimate to the conference. And, again, like I said, they come in with high expectations. A lot of people have Texas and Alabama and Georgia at the top of the SEC, so it should be fun to watch.
Speaking of that, we wanted to note that Nick Saban did pick his 2 contenders for the SEC championship. I'll let you take that away there.
He said Georgia and Texas, no Alabama.
Yes, what he did say about Alabama, because he was asked, well, why didn't you pick Alabama? And he said that the secondary actually has work to do, which, in my opinion, that's a pretty good strategy, right? You're going to motivate those DBs. And
especially for Saban as a defensive guy. That. I mean, you said it earlier that it was targeted, and it probably was.
Yeah, 100%. But there's his
picks. He complimented Jalen Milroe.
He did.
Obviously, he improved so much over the course of last season.
Right.
Georgia and Texas. So.
He did say Georgia and Texas. And we're going to hear from Jalen Milroe on Wednesday. Alabama is bringing him. And then we're going to hear from Auburn's quarterback, Peyton Thorne. He will be here on Thursday. One other thing I want to mention that's happening over in Arlington, Texas, is the MLB All-Star Game.
Yeah, and Derby tonight.
Yes, Morgan Academy's Gunnar Henderson.
That's right. Taking place.
Yes, so we'll have content on that coming up tonight as well. But that will kind of do it for our digital show here. We're actually going to go start cutting and listening and the teams that were speaking today. We got here a little late, like I said. We kind of just ran on camera and got to you what we could get. So right now we're going to go and bring you all that content for 9 and 10 o'clock. And then we're doing this digital session all week this
Every
week.
day.
So if you missed the 6 o'clock sportscast, I'm sorry, but you can always just hop on here and we'll just kind of talk like this. It's pretty chill.
Yeah.
I like this.
It's very fun.
It's fine. So we appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for watching WSFA 12 Sports, and we're going to send it back into you guys.
WSFA 12 Sports, SEC Media Days coverage.